Welcome back to TMZ Live. One of the, I think, more scary or even intimidating scenes that we've observed over the last couple of days are the protesters showing up where votes are being counted. In Arizona, in particular, this happened in Michigan as well. But in Arizona, there were a lot of people who were armed, who were outside these election centers. In fact, I think they ended up having to close this one in Arizona because of the protests. And look, we always say there's a difference when people are marching and it's clearly a peaceful protest. And this may also have been a peaceful protest, I want to say. But to me, a peaceful protest while you are holding a firearm is, even though it is peaceful,
it's threatening and
it's intimidating.
Yeah.
But by the way, it's all legal because in Arizona it's open carry state, and that's fine. So, how should people who are supporting President Trump and may also be gun rights activists, and what is the right way to handle this? We're going to bring in a guy who we've spoken to before. He's a very vocal advocate for gun rights, has been for a long time, used to work with the NRA, and that is Colion Noir. So Colion, welcome back to TMZ Live. How are you doing, man?
I'm doing pretty good. How are you guys?
We're good. So I guess I'm wondering, first of all, how you kind of evaluate gun culture in the United States, because there have been hundreds of thousands of guns sold in the last 6-7 months to first-time gun owners. And I'm just wondering, with all the controversy surrounding guns, have things shifted this year because there have been so many people who have bought guns for the first time?
I think it's actually shifted considerably. I think a lot of times when people are confronted with the realities of their existence, I think a lot of ideologies or preconceived notions or whatever they may have had prior to that particular experience kind of go out the window, and we kind of relegate ourselves to our most, we kind of triage what's incredibly important to us. And by and large, a lot of those times our life is that. And considering some of the unrest and things that we've been seeing as far as rioting in a lot of our cities, I think people naturally are going to come to the conclusion that, you know what, I'm probably going to be in the best situation if I have something to protect myself with in case this thing continues to escalate to a point where it reaches my front door. And I think that has done a lot in changing the kind of overall culture with respect to firearms, where largely the firearm culture was kind of relegated to being off in the fringes somewhere. At least when I first got into firearms, that's kind of what I got from a perception standpoint. And I think now what we're seeing is it's reaching a certain precipice where we're starting to cross over into the mainstream aspect of things. You're getting a lot of people who may lean more left, generally speaking, but are now pro 2A. And then, of course, you have the people on the right and you have the people in the middle who have largely been there as well. And so I'm starting to see, at least what I'm seeing and which I'm happy about, is where the gun will start to reach a point where it's not really political. Where you don't have this kind of stark division between the left being anti-gun and then the people on the right being pro-gun, and that's it. I've always largely thought that the gun and the firearm and the Second Amendment should be something that was apolitical.
So let's talk about the reality of where we are right now, which is, I don't want to say borderline civil war, but certainly intolerance on both sides. And there has been an escalation of violence over the last 6-7 months. It does not seem to be subsiding. We have seen, over the years, we have seen so many mass shootings with these semi-automatic weapons, these assault weapons. Given the climate right now, doesn't it make sense to concede at least assault rifles? Because we are on the precipice of something really bad in this country, I'm feeling.
No, I don't agree with that, because that would be the equivalent of me telling you that you need to restrict your First Amendment right, considering everything that's going on. That's me telling you that you can't speak out and state your position on certain things publicly because you're going to incite people to do certain things because we're in a highly volatile space. The First Amendment is the Second Amendment. Second Amendment, First Amendment constitutional amendments. And I don't think I should have to suspend that because we're in a highly volatile situation within this country. As far as AR-15s, we're talking about the most popular rifle in this country. So with 15 to 20 million of them in this country, we're not talking about some weird, obscure rifle that no one has ever seen before, and it's just kind of weird to see people with it. This is something that people use to hunt with. This is something that people use to shoot competition with. This is a rifle that's used by millions of people to defend their home with. So I don't really honestly make a distinction between someone having a AR-15 or a handgun. It really honestly is just kind of a personal choice. I don't think it really makes much sense to start suspending a right simply because we're in a volatile place in time right now. I just don't agree with that.
We're just about out of time, but I have to ask you, right now, as we are speaking, it does seem more likely that Joe Biden becomes president. What do you see as the future for gun laws under Joe Biden as president?
And I think it all depends on what happens in the Senate. If the Republicans maintain control of the Senate, I think he will try his best to pass certain gun laws. And I think the Senate, under the Republican control, will do its best to stop him from doing that. Now, if we lose the Senate and the Democrats take control of the Senate and the House, and we have Joe Biden, I think gun control will increase exponentially, to say the least.
Okay. Well, right now they're holding the Senate and actually gained ground in Congress. So in the House. Colion, thank you so much for being with us, man.
We appreciate it.
Always good to talk to you.
Awesome. Thanks for having me, guys.
Thanks again. Okay.
You know what? You know what's interesting? Why I like speaking to him, you can have, and I think this is important considering what we spoke to April about, what we spoke to Colion about. You can have civil discussions with someone that you may not agree with going in. There's a way to do it.
That was a civil discussion. And I disagree with a lot of his principles in that, but it was a civil discussion. God. Right. Okay.
All right, now we have the performance mask at shop.mrcolionnoir.com. And no, these aren't the masks that suffocate you to death. You can breathe in this mask. It's lightweight material, very high quality. You know how I do.
I'm sure the YouTube algorithm is going to do a phenomenal job of suppressing this message. So please share this video with as many people as you can so we can beat the algorithm and get our two-way message out to the masses. Also, don't forget to like this video and leave a comment and hit the bell and subscribe button. If you're looking for where to purchase your Defund Gun Control shirts, hats, and drinkware, there's a link in the description section of this video.